Broads Media.
I've never felt this way about a Sixers team in my life. And yeah, I was shitting myself when they went on a 13-2 run. When I look down and I see 10-0 run by the Celtics, what are we doing? What are we doing? And Porzingis had a wide open look at the end. But I'm going to focus on the positive. This team gave a heavy dose of D, as Jim Lynam would say. They were outrageous on the defensive end. Joel Embiid with a clutch fourth quarter bucket, a fadeaway jumper. Let's be honest, for 98% of this game, the Sixers looked like a well-oiled machine against that squad, and that's a statement win to the Eastern Conference, to the Boston Celtics, and anybody else who thinks that they're going to be at the top of this conference. Hold on a second. This James Harden deal doesn't mean that the Sixers are dead. If anything, there's more options now. Robert Covington gets some deflections, hit a three as well. Batum with a dislocated finger, and his finger looks like it's not even attached to his body anymore. Then he returns to the bench. It doesn't matter. He's an option. All right, the only options that I thought were a little disappointing today, well, you got your 3-minute run of Furkan, and Nick Nurse never looked at him again. And DeAnthony Melton, I thought it was questionable to even have him out there at the end, closing things out. It was not his shooting night. He also had the turnover, too, and the pressure got to him. Probably wasn't the sharpest, but they found a way. And realistically, the Sixers were never going to make it easy because they don't know how to make it easy. But this is a step in the right direction, being able to beat this team and look as good as they did. They held a very high-powered offense to just above 100 points. And without that last 4 minutes or so, I think the numbers would tell more of a story of what we watched on the basketball floor. Amazing. An amazing win. You know what else is amazing, my friends at HelloFresh? A crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into that dinner time run. Tonight, and I posted it on Twitter, I made myself and my wife a shepherd's pie. This thing was delicious. Just as delicious as Tyrese Maxey in the fourth quarter. Okay, just as delicious as the finishing touches of the third quarter when Pat Beverly hits the floater and the Wells Fargo Center gives a standing ovation as the quarter ends. Oh, baby, it was beautiful. But seriously, this shepherd's pie was amazing, and there's over 40 recipes that you can choose from every week, so there's always something delicious for you to discover with HelloFresh. They drop all the ingredients off at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It doesn't get much easier than that. It's also 25% less expensive than eating out, so you get a home-cooked meal on the table and more money back in your pocket. So if you go to HelloFresh.com/50broads, you will get 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. The game starts off, and the Sixers are shooting 0 for 9 from 3. Couldn't buy a bucket from distance. And the weird part is, when Joel Embiid wasn't on the floor, here's the Celtics up 11, and this team fights. This team grinds. Batum hits a 3. Paul Reed with a nice move and a great finish for a dunk. They got it done by going to the bench and not having the big fella in the game. When the hell has that ever happened? When have they been able to actually succeed legitimately and make a push against a very, very deep, detailed, good, high-powered team when Joel Embiid wasn't there? It's not a thing. It is a thing now, and that's why this is probably one of the most exciting feelings I've had in a long damn time. They lost the first game of the season, and they've just been on a roll everywhere, on every single side of the court. Defensively speaking, it's so damn difficult to get off high-quality shots. And then their ball movement, their ability to move without the ball, cutting, there's always something happening that you have to pay attention to during their offensive sets. Good luck. All right, now Jason Tatum only had 16 points in this game. Brown shot 4 of 13. The Sixers have a different element, and it's funny, I was thinking, if you're someone who's been through the Sixers experience on the other side over the years, so you experience what it was like under Doc Rivers with Ben Simmons. You've experienced what it was like under Doc Rivers with James Harden. And now you have this team with a lot of depth involved and a tactician coach. I wonder if Tatum and Brown after this game and Al Horford and Derek White, they go, oh, God, this is different. Okay, yeah, they got something real now. I wonder if they're recognizing, okay, the Sixers have entered the chat, all right, because we saw the abomination version, and maybe not. Maybe they look at those last 5 minutes and think to themselves, if we just clean up a certain couple of areas, and if we just play better for 5 more minutes in that game, then it's ours. They probably are thinking that way and just self-assessing more than they are studying what the opponent is. But I have to imagine that you can feel the defensive pressure being different. You could see the philosophy offensively and Maxey doing his thing. Maxey was outrageous, and it didn't start pretty, but you saw the ability to play close to 40 minutes against this team and only have 1 turnover. Every single night, I'm going to point out the fact that this young stud is going up against legitimate weapons on the other team, a scary team that's supposed to be there at the end of the season, competing for an NBA championship from all the national media attention. That's what this Boston team was, a serious juggernaut, okay, and by far better than the rest in the Eastern Conference. And Maxey puts up 40 minutes of play and has 1 turnover, and he goes cooking too, because the fourth quarter, a couple floaters, and even, dipped into his bag and did it all. Hit some shots from 3. There was an Embiid or a call on Embiid or a foul call, and was it a foul call on the Celtics that happened against Embiid? I don't remember, but it negated a Maxey 3 that could have been another one added to his stat line. This is another game where the team had balanced scoring. Tobias Harris, big bucket, 17 points. He's just steady as steady can get. Pat Bev gave us that nice moment in the third quarter. It was a great finish to that quarter. But that second quarter lineup that I mentioned when the Celtics were up 11, it was Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris, Batum, and Paul Reed. And they were able to shift the energy. That matters, that you can do that when Embiid gets rest. We've been screaming about that for years. All right, well, when Embiid's on the floor, they're plus 28. When Embiid's off the floor, they're minus 77. I mean, every night for years. For years. Every year of my life watching the Joel Embiid-led Sixers. And they need to clean up what happened late. I think this is almost, weirdly enough, in a regular season game, sort of the best of both worlds. Maybe not. Maybe that's a stupid statement. What I was going to say there was, there's enough sour taste in your mouth afterwards that you're not smelling yourself, and you recognize that we were so great for so long, but we can't lose focus. It's, you got the win. The win is important. And Tobias Harris said this to Taryn Hatcher as soon as the game ended and he was getting interviewed for NBC Sports Philadelphia. We're not happy with what happened there in the final 5 minutes. And it's something where you recognize that we have something here, but the details, it becomes a highlighted talking point in that locker room, and the focus becomes heavy on that, where we did so much well. We did so many things awesome, but don't lose sight of how we finished that game. You can still utilize that with a learning curve. You know how some coaches say you learn more in a loss than you do with a win? Where there was a part of this where you still have that learning point added to your win. You didn't lose. You got the win and you got the learning point at the same time. But, the alternative is you could have just kicked them in the teeth and dominated them, and we didn't have that freak out towards the 13-2 run, the 10-0 run. Oh, it was so scary. It was so scary. But it wouldn't be Sixers basketball without having that experience. We're not spoiled yet, okay? This is only Game 6, Game 7 of Nick Nurse. Maybe Game 62, when they get more time, they'll figure out how to let that, remove that from their game. Get that out of here, all right? Kick it to the curb where we don't need to go through those emotions much anymore. That was a clean look by Porzingis. It just came up a tad short. Whoo. Anybody else? Anybody else? When he let it fly, go, uh-oh. So this team needs to close out better for sure. But you had Joel Embiid hit a very beautiful jump shot to stop the bleeding, and that's what big-time players do. If you want to look at your stats for the day and look at your balanced scoring, well, then by all means, take a listen here, because I'm about to do that for you. I love watching Al Horford brick. He shot 1 for 6 from the field. All of those were three-pointers. Finished with 3 points in 26 minutes. The biggest fraud in NBA history. Pat Beverly, 15 minutes. But those 2 points mattered. 4 assists, 5 boards, too. Rocco, 15 minutes of play. Knocked down 2 bunnies. DeAnthony Melton, 1 for 9 from the field, 1 for 7. It's just not crisp from him. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he believes in his stuff, which is disappointing, and that needs to change. He had 3 points on the day in almost 30 minutes of action. But other than that, 27 from Embiid, 25 from Maxey, 14 from Oubre. And Oubre had a layup in the third quarter with 1 minute and 35 seconds left. That was a part of the nice touch to the end of the third quarter. That was the first time someone else scored in that quarter besides the man named Joel Embiid. But it shows you that in pockets of the game, you have reliable sources. If you can go to your bench in the second and help turn it around when you're down double digits, well, then that gives Joel Embiid the chance in the third quarter to work from a different spot, working with the lead. Compared to you're down double digits in the third, and now you're forcing Joel to put everything on his shoulders and then demand him to be the savior. Instead, the pockets throughout the game, it's distributed throughout the depth of your team, which we really haven't had that at all. And I was asked this on the Anytime Hotline not too long ago through a text board text about, is it better to stay with all of your options instead of packaging a few guys up and looking at a heavy contract and bringing in Zach LaVine? And my debate was, I don't know if I could not bring in better talent from an individual player level. The more and more I watch this team play, the more and more I can get convinced to let this thing rock, baby. Let's try something new. I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm not saying I'm not picking up the phone, because Daryl Morey's job is to always improve this team, and getting another player to get in the starting rotation, a high-profile guy. Now, you can make the argument that might not be Zach LaVine, and the name Zach LaVine is better than the actual production of Zach LaVine, and you can convince me that. I'm not sold fully on him. The more and more I watch what Nick Nurse can do, and so many different layers to this team offensively and defensively, I'm more willing to stay pat and just watch what 12 guys can be, instead of having 6 and squeezing out a 7th somewhere along the way. And remember, they would pick up guys that wouldn't be playing on the veteran minimum, and they'd sign guys. Who was it with the headband? And he was 73 years old, and he came in, he was taking charges. Who was it? Oh man, this is gonna bother me. We loved him to death. Oh man, dude, he was bald. He wore the headband. He was like 40. Oh man, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Sixers sign veteran guard right before playoffs. I don't know. I'm just seeing if something pops up. Oubre, no. Danny Green, no. Dedmon, no. This had to have been, Sixers sign veteran 2021 maybe? Let's see if I can figure out who this is. Sixers sign two-way veteran. No. All right. Forget it. Maybe you guys can tell me who it was in the... I'm so mad. Whatever. I'm gonna be thinking about this the rest of the show. I'm also going to be thinking about how I can help all of you get to the Wells Fargo Center to see this team compete live for less money. What's that? Oh, you heard me correctly. I can give you $10 off of your tickets when you go and click the link down below in the description. The promo code BRODES is already activated with the link. So if you click on TickPick, you can get yourself to see Joel Embiid firsthand experience, and there's nothing more beautiful in life. And they have the best prices guaranteed. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. They guarantee it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, they give you 110% of the price difference in the form of TickPick credit. There's also upfront pricing, meaning you don't have to worry about doing math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price on other sites. The price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout, period, end of story. So if you spend over $99, you will get $10 off by going to TickPick and clicking that link down below. You do not want to miss out on this golden opportunity. So get yourself to an Eagles game, a Flyers game, a Sixers game today, and take advantage of the $10 off that I can provide. Okay, so let's run the phones, and as we do that, I am going to be looking up who that guard was. We will start off with Kyle from Connecticut.
All right, bros, I got to come clean. I think I might be cursed. So far this season, I haven't had the opportunity to watch even a dribble of Sixers basketball up until tonight. I got home from work. I turned on the game with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, only to watch the Sixers erase an 15-point deficit down to 4. I turned the game off with a minute left, and the Sixers pull it out and win. So going forward, to do the entire Sixers franchise and the city of Philadelphia a favor, I will no longer be watching any more Sixer games this season. You're welcome.
I can't let you do that. I won't let you do that. I don't believe in it. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe in it. You are allowed to experience this. The Sixers aren't doing this, so people like you have to sit in misery, sit in the corner, and just have it all black in your house and be pitch black, and you don't get to enjoy the fun. No, the old Sixers, maybe. This is a new team. This is a new version of the Sixer squad. You are allowed. I promise you are allowed. This is just part of their learning curve. Don't worry about it. I want you to watch every single minute, and you're going to see them dominate. You'll see them whoop some ass, and you are in a deserving spot as a fan of the Sixers to have fun with it, because this is a new crew. This is a new coach. We have a new leader. He's ready to activate every single weapon that this roster has, and there's a lot of them, and I've never been able to say that before. You are allowed to enjoy it. No. That's the old Sixers. We are not the old Sixers anymore, and we need to stand by that. All right, now what I'm doing, because I can't find it, is I'm texting Paul Hudrick of Liberty Ballers. He's the best in the business, all right? I said, I need your help. Who was the veteran they signed a few years back? I'm mid-pod right now. Blanking. So angry. Been trying to figure it out for 15 minutes. Bald, scrappy, probably like 40 years old. Headband. All right. I'm going to say the people need you to have the answer. I'll put pressure on him. Okay. Let's go to the next caller. But don't think that way, Kyle. I won't let it happen.
I just love what I'm seeing right now. I know it got a little hairy at the end, but I really did not think that the Celtics were going to pull that off. I think Nick is going to be Coach of the Year. Maxi's going to be a for sure all-star. I mean, this team is just on another level that I did not expect at all. And their offense is flowing. Everybody's involved. They got 5 people that actually can score at one time. And the big thing for me is their defense. When everybody, they're checked in defense, I mean, they're trusting their coach, and that's a great sign. So I can't wait to see us how we handle or how we turn out to be during the All-Star break.
Oh, look, Maxey defensively, he had the chase down block. So it's not only about his progression with passing the basketball and getting everybody involved in the offense. It's not just about his ability to hit shots from deep. It's not about just the fact that he can go through a lull in a game and miss 6 shots in a row, miss 7 shots in a row, and then grab the basketball and go on a run and then have a wicked second quarter, all right, and have a fantastic fourth quarter. It's not about the ups and downs and handling adversity mid-game. This dude's also blocking guys in chase down fashion. And not only that, how about just being a force in the paint, putting both hands up, and I believe it was White who was driving the lane there and trying to get to the net, and he gets both hands up and he swats it out of bounds. The one thing that really irritated me today, though, was the referees during some of the sequences of hanging on the rim. This is a very intense emotional rivalry. We hate each other, right? And we got guys out there competing and letting everything out there on the floor. Don't be a hero. Nobody's here to see you blow the whistle. I want to watch these guys try and dunk on one another. I want to see these guys try and make plays against one another. What are we doing? How do you think that that's better for the game? How do you think that that's better for the flow? Let's slow everything down, walk across the court, have someone take some free throws. Stop it. This game's all about pace. The pace that the Sixers play with is wild. It's nonstop, all right? James Harden, while phenomenal passer, the pace was super slowed down and it was very methodical, and it'll get slow when the postseason happens, even against this team, and even when you want to push the pace, the, quote, fast pace in the playoffs is way slower than regular season matchups. Let them play with the identity they want to play with. Let the teams go after one another and have that fight. Stop it with that nonsense. Pisses me off. What's Zach in Baltimore have to say?
Man, what a great win for this team. I mean, they just keep chugging along. And I'm sure it got a lot closer than we would have liked it in that fourth quarter, but they pulled it out. And, this felt like a game that in previous years, not to take a shot at the previous teams, I'm just saying, Sixers history, the game got close in the third quarter, and then they blow it from there. They have an abysmal third quarter. But I think having Nick Nurse there, he instills that energy into this team to go on that run and say, no, this is our game. We're going to win this. And Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And not enough being said about Tobias Harris. He's playing great ball, too. Go Sixers, baby.
I've always been a Toby guy. You don't have to tell me to appreciate Tobias Harris. He's always been a solid pro. He just gets paid a lot. If he made half the money he made and produced what he's produced so far in a Sixers uniform, he doesn't get the hate that he gets. He gets the hate because he signed a fat ticket, and that goes with the territory. But when Tobias is doing his thing, he's played fantastic defense in the playoffs and has been some of your grittiest defenders, and because of his size, he has reasonable matchups where it's like, or I should say difficult matchups, excuse me, not reasonable matchups, but he's had some difficult matchups because there's a lot of weapons that play a position that he would defend and are a similar size to him, and he's held his own and done some really serious things. So, Tobias Harris, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been a big fan of Tobias Harris for the most part. Doesn't mean he's been perfect, but for the most part, I've given him his love. Now, I think the difference between this year and other teams, though, is you wouldn't have even been in a position to have the lead in the fourth quarter. I don't think they have the same pushback. I think when the Celtics go up double digits in the second quarter, not that the Sixers wouldn't have made a run, but I don't know if you make the same run without Joel Embiid on the floor. I've never really seen it before, so it's hard for me to say that it would happen. I don't know it. I've never known it ever. It's not ever been something that we've really gone through. So I don't know if they are even up as big as they are with 2 minutes to go. You're probably down 3. And we're looking at a late possession, and they struggle to get an open look out of a timeout, and it's an okay shot, but it's not a great shot. One of those where, I mean, you got a tiny contested jumper in there that was okay, kind of difficult, but reasonable to ask to make that shot, and that's what we got out of a timeout, and they just fell shy and lost by 1. And then maybe there's a few fouls late, and then you watch the Celtics walk the floor. But seriously, though, this was so important to make a statement. We ain't messing around. I think this made a statement to the entire league, to the Boston Celtics, that when James Harden demanded himself out of here, we were not folding. We're still hungry, hungrier than ever. And our head coach has made a massive impact. What else has made a massive impact for me is MyBookie, because my wallet is getting fatter and fatter and fatter due to all the bets that I'm hitting. You have to join me. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk right past it, would you? Of course not. So why are you passing up on cashing winners every single weekday and weekend? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere, so you could turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, bet on the NBA, bet on college football. What am I missing? The NHL? Yes. Play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, the time is right now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code BROADS, and claim your deposit match. It's redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code BROADS to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Make sure you click that link down below in the description. I'm getting breezed by Paul Hudrick. He's probably busy doing some post-game stuff. I gotta ask Tyrone. I gotta ask. I need to know. I need to know. It's eating me alive. I haven't stopped thinking about it over the last 12 to 13 minutes. We will get the answer. I promise. All right, let's go to Sam.
Great win tonight. I don't want to be pulled in and fall in love with this team because I just get my heart broken every year, but it might be happening. And Furkan Korkmaz, he fucking blows. He is so Furkan bad. I never want to see him take any Rocco minutes ever again.
Korkmaz, poor Corky. You know he was feeling himself. We got the answer, by the way. It was Corey Brewer. Shout out Ty for the help, man. I needed that assist. Corey Brewer. And there's Paul Hudrick. There it is. Corey Brewer. Yes. Both at the same time. Awesome. Oh, man. All right. Corey Brewer was who I was thinking about. Why we brought him up? I don't even remember. Does anybody remember why I even needed him in my head? No. But poor Furkan. Maybe Corey Brewer can take those 3 minutes of Furkan Korkmaz. He'll get another crack at it, though, I think. I think Nick Nurse will give him another shot. I think. All right. We'll take one more call, and then we'll kind of tie the bow on it.
Yo, bros, calling in for the first time. Been a long-time listener out from Los Angeles, originally from Philly. But just got done with the Celtics game, and I don't even know what to say, man. I mean, I almost had fucking 2 goddamn heart attacks, but besides that, like, the ball is fucking moving. Like, this Nick Nurse has his team fucking playing. The defense winning the game, Embiid getting up, Tyrese Maxey on the chase down block, beating the Celtics. Last year with Doc Rivers, we lose that game. there's no adjustment, we lose that game. So I just got to say I'm happy with this team, man. And let's go Philly. Let's go Birds, baby. All right. Peace.
You gave me the goosebumps. You gave me the goosebumps! You're not even up with any other coach than Nick Nurse. Okay? That's it. You're not even up. You're in a totally different position. You don't win non-Embiid minutes against the Boston Celtics. You don't do that. You go down double digits. You deflate a little bit. You don't have that same belief. You miss your first 9 threes. Okay, well, maybe it evens out. I don't know if it would, though, if you're not with Nick Nurse, because Nick Nurse is the basketball god. It goes Nick Nurse, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I'm an idiot. It goes Nick Nurse, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I love you all to death. You know that. Poor Furkan. What do you think he's thinking about tonight? Corey Brewer taking his minutes? It's fair. It's a fair question to ask. I love you guys to death. You're the best in the world. Appreciate you. We'll be talking soon. Go Sixers.